One of my earliest videos, I spoke multiple times about how Andrew Tate wants you to look the other way when you're considering to take home a trans female, so a male, um, pretending to be a female, basically. And I honestly thought, because of all the people who showed me this video, it was Amazing Lucas, and I honestly don't know what the fuck happened to that guy. He just went insane. Started hating on Trump, went down this really, really dark path. But he was the one who brought it to my attention, and I saved his video in specificity. I mean, other people talked about it, but it's just like, that's how I found out about it. I'll subscribe to him. I'll subscribe to like a lot of fitness YouTubers, and then just see them all, like almost all of them, not all of them, spiral out of control and just become a mental, just nothing, right? And it takes us to basically Andrew Tate and his current mental state, because much like the men who followed him, the flock, the shepherd too has gone awry. They've all become strays, and the madman is chasing his own tail, thinking he's gonna escape the matrix, escape the maze. Well, I honestly, I was so, I wouldn't say like humored. Like I did find it really funny, but I also found it like a sign of the times, as like I was always warned about, act your own age, grow up, don't hold on to like, things in the past, or like it will just like rule over you until you can't recognize yourself anymore and you don't even know how to let go. So let's say in the case of musicians and stuff, let's say they had like a bad breakup in their band, and then like they used to tour and stuff, and then like, a lot of times, rock bands will have, you know members being replaced, drummers, vocalists, guitarists, bassists, etc., right? Nothing new. But like sometimes you just can't handle that cope, and like you're just living in the past. You just can't adjust to the way the world is. Like, I think the loss of Andrew Tate will be something that will most likely haunt him perpetually, forever. Like, it's not a question of whether he should have lost or not. It's a question of why he even tried in the first place. Like, there was no other reason. And even as he was spewing all these mad conspiracies, maybe he's the man, in his words, to bring all these people up, that it just dawned on me. Now, I don't want to be a guy who traffics human beings, women, webcam, basically de facto enslave people, to get my money, right? Like, I'd rather just be poor or dead, you know what I mean? Like, I have my pride, right? But if you can stomach that and live with yourself, then you can take it to the other step. You go from using women to take money from men to just taking money from men to eventually just taking money from companies, boxing companies, gambling companies, alcohol companies, Bitcoin, NFTs, right? Cryptocurrency. It's all crock of shit. He knows it. Everybody knows it. So why are we here? Well, Mr. Bottom G, or Rock Bottom G, as I will refer to him from now on, has initiated a challenge. It's a non-vocal challenge, and there's high chance. Excuse me. A high chance that you'll most likely turn it down because the optics is just It's just so bad, right? Like win or lose, it's like a pointless fight. I would say 5 to 10 times more pointless than fighting Chase Demore, right? Well, what do I talk? What fight am I talking about? Well, Sneeko has been vindicated somehow. I mean, all you had to do was say, "I'm the top G now." Like, you know what I mean? Like, not even like a serious insult, more like, just like a catchphrase from that movie. And then, like, just twisting the knife. Damn, damn, damn. But, you know, sometimes you just can't hold your stamina, your breath. You just gotta like let it out. The adrenaline rush, according to his doctors, his words. He experienced an adrenal episode, and then that caused his body to tap out in 2 rounds. If I'm not mistaken, I think a round is about 90 seconds to 2 minutes. Maybe minute 45 seconds. I don't fucking know. Hey, what the fuck am I doing? I just asked the internet. I swear, man. It's just like how long do boxing matches last? Because I'm telling you, man, what I'm gonna tell you next is gonna blow your mind, right? I'm hoping it's two. I'm hoping it's two. Please be two. 3 minutes? A round? Really? Huh. Holy shit. Okay, well, never mind. I thought those things were overclassed. I mean, goes to show what I know about boxing. But I watched the fight, unfortunately, and yeah, how come I didn't remember if it was 3 minutes? Yeah, I was just watching like the highlights probably. But like, there's no, in my opinion, reason as to why he got gassed in the second. At least, like, if you're gonna talk about like making punches that connect or blocking or dodging, there's just none of that. And the reason why I bring this up is because he's wanting it back. He's wanting to rekindle the flame, the fire of his youth, his old fighting career. I mean, imagine you calling Chase Demore like a top of the line elite boxer. You know what I mean? Uh, so what did the top G do? The rock bottom G? Well, he hit rock bottom by issuing not directly. I think it was through his like agency, his fighting agency, and it was over this stream with Sneeko, and he was like live streaming, and he's just talking to this guy. He's like, "Yeah, I'm interested in this fight," and then I had to like pause the video. I got up, started laughing, had myself a good yuck yuck. And then I realized, like, shit, man, that could have been me, man. Like, yo, if you can't let this shit go, and you be like, fucking around with kids and shit, like, immature ass mans and stuff, right? Like, this is how you fall. This is how you like become nothing, right? Like, this doesn't just hurt their movement in completion, but like, can you imagine? Um, I forget the guy's name. Something Jack something, and he was just like this like major cuck guy, and it was just like this weird thing where he wrote this like article about like like letting your wife like bang other men, and then he got like pissed off at this like host who brought it up, hostess, sorry. She brought it up. I think her name was like Sydney something. Fuck, I don't know. I'm forgetting all these like YouTubers names and stuff. Politics has me like remembering like all these different names and shit too. And for like months, the guy was just like tarnished. He was trashed off the internet. He went from a guy who like people would buy his courses, consider him like a man's man, listen to his like, the words that he said to like, just basically a nothing. And it's not like an isolated incident. Like one by one, these people are falling down. Like there's another reason why I'm calling it rock bottom G, right? So we now know, thanks to the power of the internet, YouTube's, right? The person who wanted to play the Heil Hitler song and the persons who wanted to play the Heil Hitler song was, that's right, it wasn't Sneeko, dude. They all blamed Sneeko. They all blame Sneeko. Like, why you do that, man? Like, we weren't gonna find out. So basically, Andrew Tate tells Fresh, and Fresh is just like, and they played it on the car too. Like, you know what I mean? They played it on the car and on the ride there. You know what I mean? So it's just like to pretend like, oh, I didn't know that they were gonna listen to this song or play this song when you just played it in your fucking car right there, man. And you're talking about how the club owners you knew that they were Arab. Nah, man. Yeah, turns out they were Jewish. They were Jewish, and they just banned you out from all the clubs and shit. And that's why Sneeko feels like it's so whack, because everybody was like initially like pointing the finger at Fresh, and it's like nah. It's like Andrew Tate and the whole crew who like want to play that, the whole man's them, the whole vibes them, like you know what I mean, like Sneeko and Fresh and Fit, Myron, whatever, they probably know each other, but like this has been like one of those things, at least from their point of view. I don't know if they're just like lying to like save face, but apparently they haven't spoken to each other, Sneeko and Andrew Tate, in some time, and I don't know, some sort of drama, this and that. So like this is their first reunion after a while. And it's like very telling how Andrew Tate has that like politician-esque showmanship, and I'm gonna be making a bunch of videos on all this shit that's coming out, all the politicians, but I'll save that for later. But like the way that they use this false righteous indignation to demean and judge you, while simultaneously like holding such a high level of hypocrisy that it's beyond comical. It's tragic. It's tragic how all the people who have power, weapons, positions in the government, most, if not all of them, are most likely corrupt. If not directly, then indirectly. Like, the way I see it is like, I get that like nobody really wants to blow the whistle. They want to keep their jobs and shit. And you hear all these like horror stories about like the dirty cops and like, these bosses that have to like, let some people go, but then like, take an extra bonus for themselves and stuff, right? But like then these politicians not only do that wholesale, so like they're just doing it to the entire public and stuff. And you're just like finding out now that like the money, well, we all kind of knew. But like now that we have the ability to audit, which is why like I feel Tyler should have done it. So those Jews, I got it wrong though. It was upstate New York. It's not Manhattan. That'd be actually pretty trippy too. Like in New York City, New York State City. Like holy shit. And they have like such a nice like enclosure, nice area and stuff. But now they're like more on the Jersey side and stuff. So in that like super nice, super rich area. And technically speaking, people in New Jersey are like super rich anyway. Like they gotta get their taxes. They use their taxes to birth, to breed another generation of inbred Jews. Oh, man. Yo, I'm like, hey, I have a guilty pleasure of watching this guy called Synthetic Man. I stopped after a while because he dissed Armored Core 6, but then I'm starting to realize that he was actually kind of right about that because Armored Core 6 is, it's not a bad game from a fan's point of view, but like when it comes to innovation, it kind of does it. It just looks nice and it loads fast, right? A first for the Armored Core franchise. And he's like pointing out like all these Jews are just like inbred and shit. And it's just like it's so dry because it's like when you're watching like other people, other channels and stuff, like they're just trying to talk about the topics. They're not trying to like point it out and stuff. And it's just like you watch him and his reaction to it, especially when you see them. And it's just like, oh hi. And that's where that's where we are right now. I think we are a society that is an extended daycare for certain individuals. You know which ones what we're talking about. And like for some reason or another, like people just like to watch, their sick machinations, their beliefs, and most importantly, like their desire for control, relevancy, to just twist the knife and watch them lose it all again and again and again. Andrew Tate versus Sneeko will be like the funniest thing that ever happened because it doesn't even matter anyway.